day everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to start by drawing this question. First let's read the question. It says that it's solid geometry and what is given is the front view and the top view of a right regular pentagonal pyramid with a cutting plane ZZ. So this is the top view and this is the front view and then cutting plane ZZ, but there wasn't given distance from the bottom to where the cutting plane starts in this question. So I just made it 15 millimeters from the bottom to where it cuts this front view, and then it cuts with an angle of 45 degrees. Instructions: what should you draw? Draw according to scale 1:1 in first angle orthographic projection the following: the given front view, so we are going to draw the front view just like this. We can draw it dark. The sectional top view, which means this top view isn't complete yet, so we can't start by drawing it dark. We need to finish it before we can draw it dark. The sectional left view and the true shape. So, and then use point N to position the top view and apply the correct hatching type to the sectional views. So on this page a point N was given for us. I already started this drawing in class. So there was a point N given to us. But if you're drawing on a blank page like me, I don't have a point N. So I just made myself a point N. Actually I'm going to move this point N up a little bit because I think it will be a bit low. Let's move this up. About there should be good. This is that given point N where you should start your pentagon. Okay, can you see this is where the point N is shown on the question as well? So a pentagon is one of the hardest shapes to draw in grade 10 because there's so many different ways to draw this. I'm going to use my compass. There's two different compass methods. And then there's also the one where you use your protractors. I know a lot of you would prefer the protractor, but I'm going to use the compass just because not everyone has a protractor at the moment. So first off, it says that a side is 46, but we start at the middle, so we need to divide that by 2. I get 23, so I measure 23, and then I'm going to draw my construction lines. I'm going to do in blue just so you're clear on what is construction and what is not, what is going to be dark. So I'm going to draw this construction line. There we go, in blue, and then on that construction line I'm going to measure from point N 23 up, 23 down, and that's going to be my end points of my pentagon. Then I need to divide this line. If you're using a board and you know you're using a T-square and everything, you can just make a line like this. But I know some of you are drawing on a table, you're just using a T-square. So I'm going to show you what we actually do is we need to divide this line. Let's call this A and that's B. We need to divide line A and B. So I put my compass, measure more than halfway. Actually I'm going to use the total distance. Okay, just because we are going to use that later, so I'm going to use this total distance, and then I make an arch on my left side and my right side. I take that same distance, put it on point B, and I make an arch on the left side and on my right side. As you can see, when we connect these two crosses, it's in line with that first line I got. So that is what we want. So all we did was we divided that line and drawing a straight line through that. Now we need to find our middle point so we can draw a circle. We take our compass. The reason I measured from A to B is because we are going to need that distance. If you didn't measure, you can just use the line, but then you should take the distance AB and make a mark on that line that you got. See, I already have that mark, so I'm going to call this point 1. Then you take the distance from A to N, and now we are not going to make the mark on this again because it's going to end up on N again. We are going to take our compass, put it on N, and get our new point, our new mark, and that is point 2. We need to do the same thing again. We need to divide the space between 1 and 2. So how do we do that? Take your compass, put it on 2. Well, just to make it clear, I'm going to adjust it to 0.1. Yes, I'm going to adjust it to 0.1 and then make a mark, an arch at the top and an arch at the bottom. Turn it around, place it where your, let me just make a little mark where 1 is so you don't get confused. That's 1. Place it on 1. Make an arch there and an arch there. Now I need to connect those lines. Now if I did this correctly, when I put my t-square in, it should line up perfectly. There we go. So you connect the two dots, and then this, I'm going to make this big. That is your middle point. Take your compass, put it on that middle point, measure to point A, or you can use point B, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to use point A because it's closer to me, and you draw in a circle. Now we know we want to find the other marks on this circle. If I go too fast, feel free to pause the video, catch up, and then you can just play again. Okay, so how do I get the other sides? I take my compass and I measure to A and measure to B. So I take the line distance, the distance of 46 millimeters. I take that, put it on A, I make a mark on my circle. Then I put it on B and I make a mark on my circle. Let me just see. Yes, like that. And that will be point A, B, C. This is point D. And this is point E. Now I can just draw in my pentagon. I'm going to do it in construction first, because we still need to slice our pentagon. This is just one method to draw a pentagon. I already showed you guys in classroom the other method where you extend the line all the way through and then you bring the arch back and all those stuff. So there is a bunch of different methods online. Feel free to look up some YouTube videos if you're not happy with this one. The other one I'm just going to show you is you can use your protractor. Now every shape has a different angle from the outside. For example, a triangle is 60 degrees, a square is 90 degrees, a hexagon is 60 degrees or 30 degrees, no 60 degrees, a triangle is 30 degrees I think. So everything has a different angle. A pentagon angle, this angle from the flat line to the side is going to be 72 degrees. If you put your protractor down nicely, there we go, line it up nice and neat, you can see that if I will extend this line, it's going to meet 72. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. There you go. I'm going to extend this line in, let's make it red, so you can just see that nice. Just going to extend. I'm not going to draw the entire line again. Just going to extend like that. And when I measure, line it up, make sure that my protractor meets the point and that it's on one of the sides meets 0 or 360. And can you see that when I measure, it is 72 degrees. Same on this side. If I should measure, it should be from this angle. Okay, let me just move this up a bit. There you go. From this angle, outside angle, when I extend this line, it will be 72 degrees. So that's another way. Let me show you this one as well. If I put it on this one, line it up, can you see again the outside angle is 72 degrees. So that's another way to draw your pentagon. Let me just get this back to normal size. That's another way to draw your pentagon if you're not happy or not positive or confident using the compass method. But let's continue. So now I have my top view, but I need construction lines because we are working with a pyramid. We are working with a top view or a top point. So we need, actually this is the wrong one, we need a top point, which is going to be that. And all of the lines goes to the top point. As you can see, I'm using my construction lines again because I'm going to cut this top point away at the end. I'm just connecting all of my lines to that middle top point. Like that. Then I need to get my XY line. We are finished with the top view. This is also your auxiliary view. The auxiliary view shows the true shape of what the pyramid will look like. If it's turned to the side, similar to the circle we did, we had to get an auxiliary view to know what it will look like. So let's start by drawing that front view. We need to draw our XY lines, which is 10 millimeters away. So I'm just going to make sure we have the end of our pentagon over there, and then I'm going to measure 10 millimeters away. That's our XY, and then the 10 millimeter construction line as well. The XY is dark. They extend it like that. Okay, so this is my X1, Y1, and then I have a construction line which is 10 millimeters away again, where the front view is actually going to start. Let me get this XY as well. My compass is already set to 10 millimeters, so I'm just going to measure XY, construction, this is X2, Y2, and that construction line that we are going to use later on when we draw the left view. There we go. Just get this construction line as well. Great, so let's start by drawing the top view. So this is the base. I'm going to take all of my numbers up till it meets the base of my pentagon over here, my pyramid. So C and E is in line with each other, as you can see. Take both of them up. I'm going to leave the top point first. There we go. So this is D, this is C and E, and this is B and A. Easy. Let me zoom in it just a bit. There we go. Now I need to find this top mark of where the pyramid's going to end. So I'm going to take the center point, the top point, take it up. How high is that? Let's look at our question. It says that it has a distance of 80. So I'm going to measure 80. I have 80 measured on that middle top line, and that is my top point. If I look from the front, because this is my front view, if I look from the front, I'm going to see this line dark. First I'm going to see the outside lines like this, so I can draw that in dark. From my top point to D, because I'm looking against D, from my top point to A, and then top point to E. I'm not drawing this construction line dark because it just showed me how to get my top point. It's inside the triangle basically. Okay, let's draw this bottom line dark as well. And then I need to find my cutting plane, my cutting line, which I said is 15 millimeters from the bottom. Let me just focus. There you go. 15 millimeters from the bottom to where the cutting plane starts. So I'm measuring 15 millimeters. I have 15. I'm using this straight line as a guide, so I measured it on this one. Let me just focus again. I use this one, and then I'm going to extend it to there. So I have this distance, I took it over to the side, and then against the 45-degree line, against 45 degrees, we have our cutting plane. That is our cutting plane, which is named Z. Good. I'm going to, now we can use the this front view to get our top view. Let's see, line DT. I'm calling it DT because it's D to top. Line DT, and this is line DT. Where does it cut DT? There. So I take it down. Let me use this again. Take it down where it meets line DT, and I make a nice mark over there. CT, this is CT, and I make a nice mark over there. And ET, PT, PT, and AT as well. So that is where it cuts. This is the cutting plane. So I can draw that in dark without questioning it. There we go. And then the question is, which part of my pyramid falls away? We always want to look onto the cutting plane. So if I look from the top, can you see that for me to be able to see the cutting plane, I need to throw away the top view. So that means that the base stays there. I can draw the base in dark as well. There we go. And then it looks a bit empty, so we still need the lines that connect the cutting plane to the base. There we go. And that is our top view. All we need to do now is hatch it. Hatching is always against 45 degrees. I'm using these little lines on my ruler as a guide to make sure that all my hatching is the exact same distance away. And there we have it. That is our finished top view. Now you know you can get the marks for this and you can get the marks for this. But it also says, so we have the given front view. We drew that. We have the sectional top view. We need the sectional left view. I'm going to draw in my 45-degree line using red. So let me just move this up a bit. There we go. I'm going to use red and draw in my 45-degree line just like that. Right, then to get the left view, I'm going to first take all my base points. C is already to my 45-degree line. B, this is C, B, take it up. This is B, D is on this one. D, A, oh, wrong one. A and E. There we go, I have all my lines except I still need my top one. So I take my top one, it's in line with D, so I extend D up. What's the height of the top line? Top, take it over. There we go, and this is the top. So just as construction, to find my place where it's going to cut, I take all of the top line of all of my base lines, base points to my top point. Here we go. I have all of those points, and now I need to find the place where it cuts. So let's see. BT, this is BT, so I take where it sliced BT. To where it sliced BT. Next 80, this is 80, so where does it slice 80? Extend this one. 80. C, CT and ET, so CT, ET. Last one is DT. This is DT. There we go. We have our cutting plane. We can draw that in. There we go. Again, if I look from the left, I want to see the cutting plane. So we throw the top part away and we are going to see the base part. But for example, I'm going to see this one. Because I look from the left, I'm going to see C, D and E. C, D and E. I'm not going to see these two back points because it is at the back of the pyramid and it says, it doesn't say you should show hidden detail. So we only have that and then our baseline as well. And we need to hatch against 45 degrees. And that is my finished left view. Now for the true length or the true shape. For something, if you remember, the rule in drawing is for something to be a true shape, it needs to be parallel to an XY line. We need to make the true shape parallel to the XY line. So I'm going to use, let's see, what do I have? Let's use orange. And because this is against 45 degrees, if you have this board, you can just turn it like this and draw, extend these lines all the way through. But if you don't have a board like this, you can use your 45-degree line. Triangle, can you see I'm using my T-square? And then I'm only taking the points where the cutting plane slices through the triangle. So where this point meets, I'm extending it to this side. Let's see, it's sliced over there. I'm extending it. And the last one, I'm extending it. Now I just need to extend it a little bit further. You can just try and fit it into your page because you have a question and a border and everything. I just have a blank page. It can go over these construction lines. That's not wrong. So you can adjust it so that it goes over this construction line. You're not going to be penalized. That is what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw it over here so you can see that it doesn't look wrong. Okay, so we have that line, but we need to find our 45-degree XY line again. This is the cutting plane and we move it down to make it parallel and we draw in our XY line again. This is X3 and Y3. We are going to need that. for you to just keep your head together and that you don't get confused, what I like to do is I like to number this again, because you are going to work with these numbers. So this was line B. Can you see? Line D. We brought it over. So this is D. This is C and E. We brought it over. This is C and E. This is B and A. Brought it over. This is B and A. The rule in EGD is when you project over from one view, you need to measure from the previous view. So you can either use this view or this view. I'm going to use this view just to make it simple. What we do is we choose a point. Let's start with D. So where did D slice? That point. We project it over from this view. Now we need to, let me see if I can just adjust the light. There we go. We need to project over, or we project it over from this view. We need to measure from this view. But we need to measure from the XY, which is this dark line. We need to measure from this line every single time, because that is the line that we have that we can use to get the measurements. So just remember that always, always, always measure from an XY line. Never measure from the point where the drawing starts. Okay, let's start. So let's work with D. Project it over. I work my way back with the line. Go down. And see, from that XY line, I put my compass down there. I adjust it until it reaches where it cut, where it's sliced, line D. Take that measurement, again move back, project over from the XY line, and I place it down. And I make a nice big mark for me, because I have that. Next one, let's work with C. Project it from here, took it from that point straight down to my XY line. Put it down on that line. Measure to point C. This is C, so this is point C. Can you see? There you go. To point C. Again, move it back. Project over on the XY line. There we go. Make a nice big mark. Next one. E, it's on the same line. Take it back, bring it down to the XY line, measure to point E. Can you see where does E slice? At that mark, bring it back up, project it over to my XY, make my mark. Let's work with B. B, take it back where it's sliced, take it down to my XY. Where does it slice B? That is point B. Measure to B, take it back up, bring it over, and that's point B. A, take it to point A, bring it down, XY, this is A, measure to A, bring it back, over, and that is A. So now we can just combine all of our dots. and that is the true shape, but to indicate that it's a true shape we need to hatch it again. So I use my 45 degrees and I hatch my true shape again. And that is the complete drawing. I hope this video helped you a lot. If this video helped you, please subscribe so I can continue making this types of videos for you, and have a wonderful day.